Do you think that's going to be your son's first word because you're screaming at him?
I really hope
hello.
so. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to John and Dylan Online. I'm Dylan Gott.
I'm John Hastings. We did not plan on both wearing Blue Jays hats, but I like to point out mine's a cool one, and Dylan's is the one that the guy who doesn't have any kids in the game wears, but he knows all the stats.
Mine is a perfectly white hat that I will literally only wear inside.
Yeah, no, I assumed that I would just wear that in the bathroom, in the shower.
You know what someone was doing, another comedian at a comedy show?
Go ahead.
She got put into the show late. Okay, sorry.
What year is this, Dylan? Thank God. Oh,
I'm
thank
sorry.
God. Hey, I thought you were at one of those crazy clubs that only exist on the internet. Was this a Zoom show in 2024? I got one for you. That I will always remember, which was one of my grandfather's shock that I had a female teacher. A male teacher? What? I was like, yeah.
I was a receptionist for a year, and the guy went, "Well, I hope you have nice legs." And I was like, "Then my pussy's tight."
I remember certain people when I was a barista couldn't believe when I was making the coffee. Like there was an old German man named Hugh that was like, "You're making the coffee, John." And I was like, "Yeah, Hugh." And he's like, "Okay." Like you could see in his face, he's like, I mean, if we'd won the war, this is not how it would go. Oh, we're having a cameo, ladies and gentlemen. We're starting him young. We're making sure Dylan's newest child learns the way of the alpha. He's already been doing push-ups and sit-ups, and I've been giving him...
My first son was born during disgusting Biden's presidency, so when God King Trump once again calls out Kamala Harris for... First of all, calls her Kamala, which is good, and then says, what, she's black now?
Can I say this right now?
Indian.
Can I just say this?
That was crazy, even for Donald Trump. But you know what that was? That interview, for those that don't know, Donald Trump did an interview with like a Black Journalists Association, and none of the members wanted him there except for the upper brass. So they really rinsed him, and it was like when Eminem released that Slim Shady album earlier this year. It was like a return to what got him there, because it was like, here's some straight up ignorant lying racism. Let's go, baby.
What I really enjoyed about that Trump interview, by the way, is she starts in on this question and they do a pan to him and you see him change gears. Like he thinks he's like, all right, can I go talk to some black people? You know how baby boomers really refer to black people like they were a family down the street? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, we got some
they're
blacks.
A hive mind. Yeah. You're a black person. This is the color you like.
Exactly, you know what I mean. He's got a hint of purple in his tie. He's like, you like that, don't you? You're flashy dressers.
Fat Albert wore one of these in his little cartoons.
Oh my God, the weird references. There is nothing better than a man of a certain age's reference to another culture. I was watching Sailor Moon. That was you guys, right?
I mean, that's what we're gonna be. I'm so fucking excited. You know what I've been saying to people? I've been saying, yeah, I'm having a bit of a brat summer. And the anger on my niece's face is like that of, I don't know if I've seen anyone that angry that wasn't like, I just embezzled money. Me saying, I just keep on saying I'm having a brat summer. Do you know what a brat summer is, John?
Yeah, it's the summer that we're having right now. I'm also having a brat summer.
Okay,
First of all, Dylan, I follow comedians who are 40. I am aware of all the current slang. I just get it about 2 weeks late. I just need what
TikTok is. I thought TikTok was up to date on new slang, but it's actually, by the time it's on the internet, kids are like, no.
Yeah, no, TikTok is the Instagram Reels for all of our friends that still date early 20-year-olds and just don't talk about it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I got some new slang. This guy's just over a month old. Piss means shit now.
What are you talking about?
That's true.
If you say, if I piss myself, that means shit?
He said piss means shit. So if he says I gotta take a piss, it means he has to take a shit.
I mean, that's really confusing, but I really like it.
And he says psych bomb.
Hey, here's my question.
Psych bomb a lot.
I got a question for you. Is he using whoa, Freaky Friday tricked you? He's like, I gotta take a shit, and then he pisses, and he's like, you don't know what to believe, Daddy.
People wouldn't notice for a while if I just started crying because no one would hold me and then shit my pants. It would take them months to realize it wasn't me if we Freaky Friday.
If you and him Freaky Friday? Oh, I think it would be much longer than a month. First of all, The amount of people that would just be asking why certain things weren't done, but would never connect that you've been doing them, which is both of our roles in so many people's lives. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of things that usually are just done that aren't done. Where's that man who sits quietly watching UFC on his phone? I don't care. You know what I mean? That would be what it would be.
No, I mean I've weaned off watching because it's a lot when you realize you look at yourself from the outside view and you're like on the bus, and then if they look at what you're watching on your phone, it's just a fight and then an ass and then pimple pop videos. So it's literally like surgery, fighting, sex.
Yeah. Dylan's favorite buffet.
I like it's. Do you have a building where people fight and then they perform surgery on one another? The loser has to get surgery performed on them.
The winner gets to lance the other one's boils, and we get to film it.
Charlie SDX is having a brat summer. She has a shirt that says brat. She says Kamala Harris is a brat, and Kamala Harris is like, sure, I made fig Newton bars from home for everybody.
I'm going to say this about the rise of our future God King, Kamala Harris.
There you go.
I'm really enjoying the return to out of touch politicians visit pop culture icon moments.
Thank
because
God.
I didn't know I missed it, but her on RuPaul's Drag Race, I assume, I haven't watched it, but I assume it's like, did you like this? And then she's like, let me tell you about some tea I've spilled in the Red Room at the White House. And you're just like, oh, they're all, because here's what it is we're resetting the ship away from Trump back to these people being evil nerd losers. We've come out of the dick cowboy phase. So, like, say goodbye to Joe Rogan. Say hello to some fucking loser named Corey who's going to have an objectionable podcast who will later be canceled for very real sexual assault charges. You know what I'm saying? That's where we're headed. Oh, what a pivot. Dylan, do you have something to tell our audience?
Mr. Beast.
What is happening with Mr. Beast? A
person in Mr. Beast's inner circle, which is, okay, so here's the layers of it. A trans person in Mr. Beast's inner circle has been charged with like messaging minors, and people used to just dislike them because they were trans, and now they have a real reason to dislike them. So everyone's making videos like, see, we were right to dislike them. It's not just because they're trans. We knew they were a pervert. You didn't.
I only popped in during the part where they were like, something's up with this trans person. Get him! And now it was the most interesting thing about it is I saw the pivot coming as there was like, oh, legitimate accusations actually come in. And it's that weird moment where like the most evil part of the internet's like, oh no, even we were right. Like there was that weird sense with some of those documentaries where like they all have that weird pause where they use some like, they use some public domain weird piano music. And then they kind of go like, and then this happened. But did you see also all the deep dives of like, the weird paintings the guy apparently kept in like the background of his room and stuff like that? There's all this like, the internet is, everyone just wants their moment from JFK, from Oliver Stone's JFK, back and to the left, back and to the left. Like they are, I don't know how deep, I thought you had gone much deeper, but I was like, he's raising 2 children. I'm definitely gone deeper on this story than Dylan has. They are literally like, freeze screaming and like Google image searching every painting in the background, and they're like, someone else who once owned this, they own a van. As you all know, vans are the domain of pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? It is so hard to make a pedophile joke and then hear a baby cry through the microphone. What terrible ASMR.
I told him to shut the fuck up.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought he was doing a kip up. Is he doing a kip up?
Yeah, this is the game when you have a newborn as well, is will they be actually asleep, or are they going to have searing gas pains if I put them down too quickly? So,
I really like that about, as someone who had gas pains for a year and my mother just had to walk me for 1 year. And how do I know that story? Ask my mother for anything, and that's the story you're going to get. I'd love to give that to you. You know what else I gave it to you? The gift of life by not killing you for the 1 year you had gas pains.
Yeah, and now the rest of you have fucking got ass spades from getting pegged so hard. You could use that.
My fiance has been away all week, so I've just been farting up free farting in this house in a way that you can't if there's another person near you. You know what I mean? Just loud, opening the duvet so it's out in the bedroom. Just bah. Oh, lovely stuff.
Does this devil woman do that you can't do that now you can? Because there's always a thing where it's like, if
what do you mean?
Your significant other goes away, then there's one thing you treat yourself to. Or
I
is it
mean,
just
like,
the farts?
it's just the farts. That's how, like, the amount of farting, if no one else is around, I can get up to.
So wait,
oh,
you don't fart in front of
try
your
not to. I try
of
not
your
to.
Beyonce?
I try not to fart in front of my Beyonce.
Wow.
Couple of leaked out. I'm a gassy Gus, but you keep it to a dull roar, you know.
Oh yeah. Also, the Doctor Disrespect guy, he got destroyed in like a day. Do you know who that is?
I don't know who Dr. Disrespect is. I'm sad that someone has stolen my penis nickname.
He was a guy who played video games with a character who swore a lot and wore aviators. And then
Yeah, I remember this guy.
yeah, he was working with like I think he worked with like a professional sports league at one point. I forget, but yeah. Anyway, his career was over in like 8 seconds, and also you learn about it. It's like the Chris D'Elia moment where he gets the news that they know about his messages to 15-year-olds on the air, and he's like, "Oh."
I'm going to say this.
Super hard too.
I think Mr. Disrespect may or may not have given me a shout out on
He's a
Twitch during the
doctor,
pandemic.
not a mister. He didn't go to school for all those years at Disrespect College to fucking be fucked by you. Yeah, exactly, Ozzy. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Ozzy, and sorry, Dylan. You are correct. Also, I feel like
This is his favorite streamer.
his favorite streamer is still Dr. Disrespect. He hasn't moved it over to
now.
Penguin
He just
03.
learned about him. He's like,
Oh, we
I
just
got a
learned
whole
about him now?
backlog. Yeah, well, yeah, he's a month old, so
That's crazy, buddy. Buddy, that's extreme. You should stay away from him.
this is what I don't understand about streamers. If you discover a filmmaker or a comedian or a musician, you're like, oh fuck, what's their early stuff like? If you discover a streamer, you're like, oh fuck, I gotta start from the beginning, man. I got 620,000 hours of fucking.
Here's what I've learned about the internet is people don't start from the beginning. They join the streamer like at the stream and they move forward. And that is why like every streamer's early streams, you either can't find them or if you do, it's like them in front of they're in front of a swastika and they're cutting a tit off and they're just being like, I like Call of Duty. And like that's the thing with streamers is you can't go back because going back is always like, it's like, oh, yeah, before I got really big playing Sims 4, I made snuff films, but only of the cutest animals. And I was naked, but I didn't need to be, but I was.
Yeah, that's like Blippi, who is, I think he's very good. He teaches children what to, and doesn't even hint at violence, which is good. Because there's every time when you're a parent, you just notice like, oh, this show from my childhood had forced feeding in it and then a punch in the stomach. That's fucked up. But Blippi did a video where he pranked a guy by shitting on him. So,
Shit.
and he's the biggest children's entertainer in the world.
I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, Mr. Dress Up, Canada's Mr. Rogers, clean, not one issue.
That's not true.
What's Mr. Dress Up's issue? Go ahead.
No, he just has one for sure. There's no way Mr.
That we're not aware of. Oh, okay.
Like,
oh, hang on. Pardon me, pedantic Pete. Sorry. I didn't realize Dylan went to law school while being a dick.
Okay, John, shut the fuck up for fun.
Do you want to fight? Do you want to bring
I'm
me
just
in?
saying.
I don't think that baby's real. I think that's a doll. I don't think any of your kids are real. I think this has been a long-term con.
Dead.
No!
So I don't mean that. I just mean like there's one person out there like, yeah, Mr. Jessup gaslit me into having a three-way with my friends, and Mr. Jessup's like, I'm under a tree getting my pee sucked or whatever.
Let me say this about Mr. Dress Up. There is no way it was sexual. I guarantee Mr. Dress Up got in some people's fucking face. He gave them heat about those puppets. Look at the tinkle trunk motherfuckers. Do you think
like
this is a place for fantasy? Do you want to be fucked? You know what I mean? That's what I imagine. Like I imagine Mr.
I've never
Dress
seen
Up.
someone point with both fingers. That's good.
Oh, have you never gotten that? I remember giving this to one of my managers when he told me, he's like, if you don't start paying for lunches, I'm going to garnish your tips. And I said, if you garnish our tips, I will call the province and have your Greek ass. And let me tell you, the owner of the restaurant showed up and he said, I heard you used a racial slur against the manager. And I was like, Greek? And he was like, we're proud people. That restaurant, by the way, closed in the pandemic, and I took a photo of it very proudly. I took a selfie with the closed restaurant in a
That's actually a long time for that restaurant.
It was a long time for that restaurant. It was
in Montreal. There's a lot of Greeks in Montreal. That's probably good food.
They were a very prominent Greek restaurant family. Let's not fuck around. They owned Rubens. They knew Leonard Cohen. They were essentially like if you know Leonard Cohen in the 2000s, you were Montreal restaurant royalty, because Leonard Cohen, the singer of Hallelujah, loved sex workers from Asia. I hope you're all sitting down. We're not talking liked. We're talking loved. As much as the internet loves going after Mr. Beast for turning out to be a legitimate house filled with horrors, as much as the internet loves going after Dr. Disrespect because he turned out to be, like all prominent media figures, a horrible monster, here's how you know Dylan and I are good people. 100 people watched this video. We are not pedophiles. We are not sexual assaulters. We are not bullies. Do you want to know why? Our videos, under 500. If your videos are under 500 views, you're cool. Oh, that's how you know. That is how you know. That's the gauge right there. If your video's over 100,000, you've been this far away from someone you call an intern and said, "Do you think this is cottage cheese, Caleb? Get the fuck out." You know what I'm saying? And over a million, you've asked an employee to hold your dick while you piss. And
that's yeah. That's
the wildest thing.
You have company-wide drug testing just so you can drink it and see if you can tell.
Yeah, exactly. This nurse is going to hold my dick while I piss in all the jars of your piss, and we're going to see if that cocaine I did affects your results.
No. It tastes like you got high last Wednesday. No. Guess another drug test is in order. Be in the cup.
Dylan, have you ever drunk piss?
Piss? No.
Me neither. Have you ever drunk cum?
Have I cum in my mouth?
Oh, what? You came from your dick into your mouth?
Yeah.
What? Good for you. What a launch. That's powerful.
Just a bit.
Oh, just a bit? I'm literally imagining like you're like, I
was surprised by something.
Were you like, oh my?
I was mid-nut and I was like, we got rid of Carlos Delgado? And I went, and I went in, no, I don't know.
I'm going to say this about nutting. If anything interrupts you mid-nut, that shuts it down. There's no it continues on. You know what I mean? It's not like a fight.
That one time I was jacking it in
Go ahead.
when I was living with another comedian, and I had to answer an open mic question while coming. That was the worst moment of my life.
Oh, my God.
I had to be like, they were like, who runs this open mic? And I had to be like, Eric Budd. Because, like, that's the other thing is I'm a people pleaser, so I would just do whatever you ask immediately just so I can get it off my plate. So no matter what question you ask me during whatever thing, I'll be like, oh, I got to do this now.
Bobby Mayer or Bryn? That's what I want to know. Which one did you
Bobby.
speak to? Yeah, there we go. Yeah. As soon as you said Eric
But it wasn't
Budd,
his fault. It's not like I was...
Oh, it wasn't in the room. I mean, the stories of that sour milk paradise that you two lived in are just... Like, there's a few that I'm not sharing because they're just so weird and creepy, but it's just a wild house you guys lived in.
His ex-girlfriend would stick mouse traps under my bed because that's where all the mice were. And I said, please stop putting mouse traps under my bed. And then she would just do that anyway. But they were also both too scared of dead mice to clean it up. So not only did I not want the traps in there, I had to clean up all the dead mice.
I mean, there is nothing...
And then I'll tell you that's when I... clean up the mice. That's when I started jacking off. It's the whole thing.
Let me say this right now. There is no hell on earth more intense than being the reasonably responsible roommate. Not the one that like makes a chart of chores. Just the one that is like, all right, well, raccoons are actively going to start living in our kitchen. I'm going to take out 3 of these pizza boxes. When I left the house in London, the amount of things that fell apart up to and including they apparently couldn't figure out why there was just garbage in the house all the time. And it's because I was the only one taking out the garbage, it transpired, in the most crazy set of circumstances where I was like, wait, what? And like having the story relayed back where it's like, yeah, like I would go on the road and then no one would take the garbage out. And I was like, you have to walk by the garbage cans when you leave the one entrance and exit of the house. And you're like, yeah, man, certain people just live their life certain ways. And you're like, this is the best.
That is so interesting about like certain when someone is a roommate and they think that they are messy and then they have to come to grips with people that are just truly messy. That like,
Yeah.
oh no, these people basically live outside, but just with a roof over their head.
People don't understand that I have lived in houses that have dirt in them, and we were surrounded in concrete in terms of the neighborhood. I really respect this child, by the way. He lay down for just enough time for Dylan to get comfortable, and then he was, guess what? Surprise, Dad. Actually, I do.
Constant.
I just need you to hold
having
me.
a newborn is. I can stand up. The fuck you can.
Yeah, go. Way to mug to the camera, my man.
My favorite is like there's all these things about like you don't have to stop exercising just because you have a newborn. Do one push-up, wait 3 hours. You got a little treat for yourself. It's called another push-up because you can work out.
Here's the thing with just being a parent that I need people to stop doing. When people are shocked at how hard it is to have a kid, I find that crazy where they always tell me. Like, is it something about my face that makes it seem like I'm like, having a kid's a snap. You have a cigar, couple of sandwiches, then they're 18 and you're a granddad. Like, I'm like, yeah, man, like, I've been around. I come from a giant, stupid family. I've been around kids my whole life. Like, I know having kids starts the most insane way ever. A vagina is opened up to the point a human walks out of it and starts screaming. That's not going to get easier.
Oh, no, it's super easy. All you do is read them a bunch of books about which bugs are straight and which bugs are gay, and then you got a kid.
Let me ask you this question right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which bugs are straight and which bugs are gay, according to that book?
I'm glad you asked.
I assume the butterfly straight, but they're curious. Because they're
Rhino beetle gay, stink beetle straight.
Who wrote this book? Who's the... Oh, really?
Pretty much, I have this encyclopedia of bugs that I bought for my 3.5-year-old, and then I'm just writing in those things as I come across the bugs.
So he knows.
Wasp, gay.
No, incorrect.
Gay.
Wrong. I don't have to give you my raisins.
There you go. See, I wrote the book, buddy. I think I'd know.
First of all, you edited the book, which is worse.
Here's something I want to talk about. Well, first of all, we said we'd take some subjects from Patreon, and some people left comments about the new direction this modcast is taking, but only a brave man named Viva D's Nuts asked this question: what is the number one insult that we left in the past that you want to start using again? He said, is cuck, which I guess
good.
Me being old, I still view that as current.
I mean, cuck is great. Cuck is the real great artifact from the 2016 election that we do not thank everyone for bringing us. And the problem with cuck also was it got politicized so fast we really couldn't use it against our friends for some time, and that's a real shame. I got to tell you, I always enjoyed the weird British slang of calling people cocks.
Cocks?
Yeah, this fucking cock over here. It's so weird. You're being a cock. What?
I thought cock was universal.
I've only ever seen it. I've never seen like a Canadian guy being like, "That fucking guy's a fucking cock, bud." But like,
Really?
I haven't. No, like in that way. I've seen a bunch of my Canadian friends all use it as cock as an insult because we all started doing it because one of our friends' English dad used to call him a cock when he wouldn't do what he said. You're being a cock, man. Also, there's nothing better than there's nothing better than a parent calling their own kid man or dude. Hey, dude, how about you're grounded?
Well, you're just trying to like, come on, you're fucking winning, man. You're winning. Yeah. I'm out of this. You're absolutely destroying me. I'd say I wrote down this one, dink, which was funny because it's an offshoot of cock. Because calling someone a cock is powerful. We call him a dink. You're like, not even a cock, buddy. You're a little tiny dink.
I really liked that there's this kid in my elementary school who called people skinhead pinheads. I want to bring that back. Exactly. No one knows how to react when you get called a skinhead pinhead. Look at this skinhead pinhead over here.
You're calling me racist and you're saying my neck is bad?
Who said that? Who said that had anything to do with racism? But yeah, you do need to do more. You need to do more shoulder-based exercises to build up those neck muscles, buddy.
I remember someone called me a pussy licker in grade 7, and I was like, what are we even, that's what I said. I was like, what? Yeah, your mom's. And he was like, couldn't even see that coming. I was like, you can't go around calling everyone gay and then make being straight bad too.
I remember in grade 8, a kid just trying to, when like a kid tries to stand up to bullies and you're like, you failed. And he went, you kiss girls. I just overheard it. And I was like, buddy, you're gonna have a talent as an adult because the next few years are gonna be a forge which creates you.
Did he have glasses?
He did not.
Oh, that sucks. What did he say? You kiss girls, and he takes glasses off. He goes, I fuck them.
I later got almost suspended because 8 different people called that guy a fucking piece of shit in school, and at the in one class, they were all yelling, "You're a fucking piece of shit." And the end of it, he just went, "Fuck," and I went, "That's all you got?" And then I got sent to the office. I always remember being like, "What the?" I was just commenting on the situation.
No, if it was funny, then that would you were like the fucking. You were the.
Let me say this. It was funny.
That's what I mean, though. You were the match, where it was like
that was at the end. That could have been
the start of an absolutely, we all had the teacher who just had no control of the class, or it'd be like, oh, it's Mr. or Mrs. whatever class. I'm pretty sure I can bring a lighter and light shit on fire because they're fucked. And it's like if they don't send you to the office, then the class is fucking fucked.
Oh, buddy, yeah, 100%. I think about some of the stuff we just yelled at teachers. I would be like, I would have left the school if I had that teacher, purchased a firearm, come back and put it in my mouth and just gone, anytime I want, you motherfucker.
Oh, the amount of teachers we had that just broke down and started crying. I wonder if that's still around.
Yeah, I have had that too. A supply teacher I'll never forget in my entire life. I am a fun person. Students enjoy me. I'll never forget her face. It was like, oh, this woman will never be the same, and we did this, and none of us are 11.
Did they yell? She yelled, "Students enjoy me."
Students. I can remember the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a mental breakdown. There's no way you say anything like blank enjoy me.
She talked about how she's like, I used to hide under the desk for the students to laugh. It was fucking crazy. It was like,
how old was she?
I was 10. And I remember her being old, so I assume she was 41.
She was younger than us now, yeah.
Yeah, she's 28.
We retired a teacher. We retired her. My friend Steve, this wasn't about him. He was tapping on the desk with his pencil, and then she walked up to him, grabbed the pencil, and said, "Why on the desk? Why always on the desk?" And she started smashing the pencil off the desk. "Why on the desk? Why on the desk?" And then she ran out of the room, and the principal came in and was like, "Mrs. O'Rourke is sick for the day. I'll be teaching the class." And then just had it. And then you saw a principal who you only know exactly what's going on. He was like, "What are you guys learning about? She definitely didn't just leave the school in a huff, and we all figured out that had happened by proxy. This is planned."
Oh, hello, sweet baby. I would say that what was interesting about that is we also had some teachers retire. We had one guy had a stroke mid-class. I missed this. I was one of the only times I was late for high school, and I missed the teacher coming in going, "How is it?" I have to sit down. Slam head on desk.
Jesus Christ. Did you pin him?
I did not. I did not pin him, but my friend Steve did try and win the hardcore title.
24/7 rules, man. I'm the teacher. We're learning about Jenna Jameson.
What was nuts about that was the amount of different people. That was the first time, by the way. I remember that was a year before 9/11, and I remember that day on 9/11 because the amount of people that made a teacher that they weren't in the class of having a stroke and being taken out in an ambulance, how they made that about them was amazing. The same girl who I will never forget saying, "I was in New York last summer and we almost went to the towers." Oh yeah. That same girl said, "He might have been my teacher next year." And I was just like, whoa, you suck, dude. Yeah.
She is either a very good or a very bad partner now.
Oh, how do I say this? Based off of the Facebook images I'm seeing, this woman sits in a lot of camping chairs and screams at her partner. Oh. "Damn it, David. I said, watch the kids." You know what I mean? That kind of energy.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
A lot of you walk into a party, everyone at the party has a great time, and then you just see the faraway look in the husband's eyes.
Yeah, correct. Oh yeah. I mean, I really also enjoyed Dylan's painting of Parenthood because he really gives me some of the insights into the kids' parties of stuff like that where you just walk in and one parent just under their breath and I'll kill these fucking kids. You know what I mean?
It's always funny to see people who are not comfortable being in a public fight almost have one. And I almost want to be like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Go. Let the dog loose. Call him a fucking moron in front of your 2-year-old. Like,
Here's my question. Is it weird for you? Because I assume, based on the dynamics I understand about your relationship, there is no fear of public fighting. I assume you prefer it in some ways.
what? No fear of public fighting? No, I think my wife doesn't know it's fighting. I don't think she knows that.
Yeah,
it is
that's right.
fighting.
That's right.
She's just
That's
this
right.
is just how it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that your wife is. I need to communicate this in a very intense tone.
I need to
Yeah, that's
communicate
right.
this immediately. There is no like, should I do this? It's just out the door before you've even thought about there being a door.
Yeah, your wife is. Everything is basically like she's a fire marshal, so it's like we got to get the guys there now.
Okay, here's something. So, as we all know, world famous from Club Random, Hawk to a Girl.
Oh, Dylan, have you watched it? I watched it.
Is there an equivalent to Hawk to a Girl from like the 90s or pre-internet?
No. Here is why Hawk to a Girl is so significant, specifically at this period of time, is because this is a period of time where a lot of guys who still want to fuck, but they're in their 60s, have podcasts. And let me say this about Hawk to a Girl. I don't know this woman, but the vibe of the Hawk to a video, which is why it's so viral, is, hey guys. And this is, by the way, if you want to market anything, this is the way to get everyone to buy it. Hey guys, this girl, she might suck your dick good. That's what the whole video is saying. And everyone's like, let's go. I want to get my dick so good. Let's go. Come on. Yeah. And she's on Whitney Cummings' podcast. I got news for you. When Whitney Cummings has declared, I got to get aboard this money train, it's leaving the station. That madam is a business person. I knew Taylor Tomlinson was going to be fucking massive when Whitney Cummings started also having a backpack all the time. So yeah, Hawk to a Girl is going nowhere. There is nothing. She's the Hollywood Hulk Hogan of the 2020s. She's changed the game, and we may not remember her, but we will always know the impact that she left. For no other reason that she made a Bill Maher podcast even more unwatchable than the Bella Thorne one. It's nuts.
Well, she's also like the way it comes off to me is she didn't have any social media presence. Everyone was trying to find her. And then now, at least all the clips I see, she just comes off as a person who's kind of like, instead of desperate to extend their 15 minutes, it's just kind of like, why do you want to talk to me?
I love it.
Like, so
exactly
she's like
correct.
talking to the same people who are like, you only have 15 minutes left. She's like, yeah, man, you asked me here.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I made one joke when I was hammered, and then you found me. I didn't want this. I didn't have like an Instagram that I was pushing, but now she has 2.1 million followers, and her comment section is just people screaming at her because she's gonna like not be viral. But she could, dude, from the 90s perspective, she could totally just have a talk show.
Oh, she would
Where
be the
she's
new
like,
Ricky
do we
Lake.
hawk Tua and spit on that thing, or do we hawk Tua and get that thing out of here? And then people clap.
Yeah, it would literally be like Reggie and Monica are having problems in their relationship, and today we decide whether or not she'll hawk Tua on that thing.
What does she got to do? What does she got to do, audience? Hawk Tua, spit on that thing. That's right.
Hawk. If her, let me say, this is the podcast. This is the podcast I want so badly.
Yeah.
Her.
Me.
And Bad Baby, a.k.a. Meet Me Outside Girl, Catch Me Outside Girl, 1,000 apologies.
Who is now like 35.
Who is now 24 and has, I think, 3 or 4 kids. Is now and very prominent hip-hop artist.
She's the closest thing to Hawk Tua Girl.
I want the two of them to make a podcast again. No, Hawk to a Girl is different because also Hawk to a Girl, it was so crazy how shocked people were she wasn't a Trump person. That's the other side of this.
Yeah.
That when they were like, who do you support? And she was like, well, Joe Biden, I guess. And then everyone was like, fuck yeah.
Well, no, that also made people go insane because the I guess part is like, I don't want to do
I'm not
this.
stupid. It's also what Hawk to a Girl really is she is everything that Gen Z actually is, which is like, it's weird that you guys all care about this shit. Like every Gen Z is just the mean girl at the cafeteria table looking at the seniors who just bought what they think is a cool jacket with like denim jacket. Okay, like that's...
no, but it's also the 90s thing, man. Like it makes you a loser to try. And remember, we were talking about that of like whenever people were trying hard on social media, it's like there's part of us that's just like got that fucking ethos of like if you have to try that hard, you're a fucking loser. And now, John, look in the mirror. We're those losers.
I always knew we would be, and I'm glad that we're here.
Hey man, we got no options.
I mean, I gotta tell you, I love the Hawk Tuah girl's rise. It is a shame that she's not going to get a television show. Like it is. This is the other thing that's so nuts. It's like, oh, social media is like remove the gatekeepers. Yeah, but they're not making anything. Dylan's totally right. Like, time was Hawk Tuah girl would have a talk show for 6 episodes. There'd be a book called like Hawk It to You, and then she'd be done.
Oh, a book. There would be a book.
Oh, she'd have. She's still having a book. She's still having a book, sir. Do you not think that there's not still going to be a book?
What?
Yeah.
Like, what's it going to be called? Book Tua and read on this thing?
Book Tua and read on this thing. I hope
he's got
so
gas
bad.
pains from me making that joke.
Oh, now you know what that means. If that baby throws up in your mouth, this will be the greatest clip I've ever had to make in my entire life.
It could be a throw up.
Is it time to throw up?
No, I think he's just trying to sleep, but he's gassy as fuck.
I understand that. Literally, I've never related to a baby more in my life.
All right, you say some stuff. I'm going to try and put this guy down and then immediately have to pick him up because he's gassy.
I understand. Let me say this about Hawk Tuah girl now that Dylan's leaving and stopping my censorship. What are the likely odds she shows up at the Democratic National Convention? How fucking nuts would it be if she walks out and says, let me tell you who Hawk Tuah is, and spit on that thing, your next president, Kamala Harris. I guarantee Trump drops out and commits suicide. If they get Taylor Swift and Hawk Tuah girl to walk out on stage at the Democratic National Convention, and they get Taylor Swift to go, hey, Donald Trump, it's time for you to shake it off, followed by Hawk Tuah girl saying, I'll tell you who Hawk Tuah is, and spit on that thing, Kamala Harris. There is a new dictator in town, and that dictator is from San Francisco, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope Kamala Harris wins. I think that at this point they're just like chasing headlines. So I think if that happened, if Hawk Tuah girl spoke at the first of all, Hawk Tuah girl speaking at the Democratic National Convention would be that would be a way. We were talking about how to make it more fun than Hulk Hogan doing the speech. That's a way to do it.
So much more fun. So much. Also, if she also ends her speech by ripping her shirt off and it just says Hawk Tuah Mania underneath it, I kill myself. I run off of a cliff.
She could be new Ricky
laughing.
Lake.
She's the new Jerry Springer.
That was my example of a person who who was a normal person who kind of made it off of just being a normal person. The best I could come up with was Rude Jude from Ricky Lake.
Okay, yeah, you wrote that down. Who is Rude Jude from Ricky Lake? I wanted you to explain.
Rude Jude was just a guest on Ricky Lake who was super mean to the other guests, and then they brought back Rude Jude for these reoccurring episodes where it'd be like, basically, this is the most 90s thing ever. A fat girl would have confidence. They'd be like, Rude Jude, set this bitch straight. He'd be like, you wish this chair was Oreos so you could eat it. And the whole crowd would be like, Rude Jude, you fucking, yeah.
I would just like to correct one thing. It's the Jenny Jones show, not
Jones.
Ricky
Oh
Lake,
my goodness, I'm so sorry.
Rude Jude. Thank you for apologizing. Also, Rude Jude has kids, which is hilarious.
Betty fucking made fun of them.
Hey, you came from my dick. You know, one of those people.
Yeah.
You know, one of those people who really points out to their own kids that you're from their dick, and you're like,
I made you. I can kill you. That's fine.
Yeah, I'll do to you what I do to all my cum. Put Kleenex on you.
That's actually good. Calling kids your cum is also probably not scarring.
Yeah. Do you ever think, what stuff do you think that you've done that isn't scarring? Just walking around shirtless, just pointing at your sons? Fight me. You can't. You're babies. I know that's what you did for the first year.
You can't fucking take me. I'll fucking pretend in a game, but I could fucking murder each of you. And then this one doesn't even speak, so that doesn't even register.
How fun is it watching people stop pretending that they are letting when the dads stop letting their kids win and just go for it. There's nothing more enjoyable in my life. I come from a real family of people that do not let kids win. And I have such a memory of I was 7 and this cousin was 4 and they were playing like fake T-ball baseball. And I remember an uncle cranked a fastball, hit the kid, and then the kid started crying. And I remember he just was like, "What? This is how you play sports? The fuck?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, man, go on." All those people are very close to death now, and it's so I'm reflecting a lot of these memories.
Oh yeah, well, what's it called? My cousin, whose dad has passed.
Congrats.
He played on a select team in grade 6, which is a select is in Canada is the best players from like the house league. And he was like, the kids were having a practice, and he was like, "Let me get a couple cuts in." There was the baseball, and then he's like, "Who pitches? Who pitches?" And anyway, yeah, he's like bragging about this at Christmas Day. He's like, "Took all these kids dead center. Not, I didn't pull
Love it.
Hit it dead center." I was like, "Yeah, you hit home runs off those 11-year-olds." But he's like, they were crying. I said, "Pick the ball up. Pick the ball up. Daddy's not done yet. You practice? Now it's my practice. Dead center, every single one."
This move, and this is the craziest move ever. I'll never forget. I've never played baseball after this summer when I was 8 or 9. And it was Team Purple of our house league had literally every kid that was like, should have been not in house league anymore. Like they were like on the, like, let's say the league was like 9 to 11s and they all turned 12, like, and had puberty while we were playing. And literally these team won like 15-1 every game. And it was just because the organizer's kids were on that team. She was like, "My kid wins. That's how that works." And was like pretty open about it. It was the most fucked up thing ever. It was pretty open about it. And then years later, I remember that parent complaining very openly in the community why no one liked her. And it was a behind her back consensus. It went down to like every parent was like, "That was fucked. My kid, I played baseball. My kid lost every fucking week. Fuck her." And I was like, "That's good." The blood feuds go on to this day. People don't like her for that reason.
That's good, though. I mean, your kids need to learn that my kids are better at this.
Also, your kids need to learn about petty anger directed towards them, even though it was the responsibility of their parents.
Okay, here's a weird one. What's slang that you used ironically that you then just worked its way into your vocabulary?
See, I'm a fucking asshole about this in that I still use Britishy words that I enjoy more than American words. Like I'll still say trousers because I think it's more fun than pants.
Pathetic.
It is not pathetic. I just lived there for a long time, and unlike Dylan, who only hung out with Canadians he imported, I actually spent time in the culture.
Oh wow,
that's right. I got jerked off in the rain. What? Sorry, I'm the queen.
Now.
I'm Meghan Markle.
I got around. I played. I hung out with some disgusting Brits.
Made
me upset.
Yeah, it does. They're bad people. They're bad at talking and friendship.
I said sick. We all say sick now. Sick was something every one of my friends started saying ironically, and then eventually just had to. And then
oh yeah. Say, I mean, I'll tell you another one that started like that. Me going like this in photos. I started doing this as a joke. I now just do it instinctively to say hello to people, and I fucking hate it. I hated it so much when I brought up this point, Dylan's child began screaming. I was revealing that I started doing this in photos ironically, and now I do it to say I do it to say hello.
I didn't want to
people.
talk about it anymore because I was disgusted. You do this? You do the girl thing? Like,
I do. I think it's really funny. I still do think it's kind of funny that I do it. But I just am like, but it's the problem is I do it to say hello to people that I don't know well enough that they're like, they just think I do this. I'm also like, I'm a full adult. There's also the thing of in your 20s, people assume you're doing this ironically. But if you're 40 and you do this on the bus, people are like, oh, they take you seriously. I'm wearing a baseball cap backwards, guys.
No one's like,
you should know this is a joke.
Yeah, that's a predator.
Yeah. But I was like this still.
I mean, that's cool. The backwards hat makes it be like, oh, he's going through something. I don't think anyone would even do anything because they'd be like, he's got something happening.
I mean, also, if you're doing anything on a City of Los Angeles bus, everyone is just like, yeah, guess again. Like I walked down there and there was a dripping wet naked man sat at the very front of the bus and everyone just got on, looked at him and moved to the very back of the bus.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with this right now. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's exactly what everyone was like, well, I'll tell you what that is more than anything. That's not my problem.
First thing that is not my second thing problem. All right, so
Yeah.
last thing I want to end on is
Speak on this.
all right, tell us.
Yeah, what do you have to say? What do you
So
mean Mein Kampf has some good points? Bro, that is too far.
He's been talking about this a lot. Shane McMahon and Tony Khan's photo with wrestling.
Yeah,
What do
ladies
you
and gentlemen, we're closing on some wrestling. I think it is the photograph is the worst fake gotcha photograph I've ever seen in my life. Tony Khan has
The look of,
acting
like,
eyes.
huh?
Yeah, Shane McMahon literally looks like he's in the middle of saying, "Don't take the photograph this way," and Tony Khan is like, "Oh."
Shane McMahon does look like he's like just Jesus Christ. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that's by the way, can I tell you this about Shane McMahon? I really relate to him in that we both have billions of dollars and lived above our dad's garage for a while. No, in that every time Shane McMahon's involved, it really seems like he's like, I'm here because like I have like I'm a rich person, so I need to have a lot of money coming in. Like, I don't know, I guess I'll do this. Like, he has such energy of like, how have I found myself in this situation? Oh, Shane, you rascal. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel real, but also if AEW wants to pop a rating and change the narrative that they're like, hey, what if TNA was just always bad? And they're like, well, hey, welcome to AEW. They could really change that by having, if they want to fucking make it nuts, Shane McMahon comes out, grabs the mic and be like, the Elite has always worked for me. I'm here to make a company that would destroy my dad's company. Tony Khan's a piece of shit. And do a rewrite McMahon version of the NWO for 1 year. Have the Young Bucks then go away for 6 months. Kenny Omega comes. You know what I mean? You can do it very easily. Do that. That'd be fucking great. Don't do what I think they're going to do and bring in Shane McMahon to have a weird feud with Christian Cage where they can do a bunch of by implication comments about Vince. Your dad's not dead, but if he did what he did to that girl, I'd like him more, or whatever they'll do.
yeah, I didn't even think about the Christian Cage thing. I mean, someone brought it up, which I think is a shoe-in, where it's like him versus Darby Allin, where neither of them really do moves to each other. They just jump from progressively higher and higher things until one of them really dies.
If they bring him, I mean, I want to change it now where he's brought in to be the new Sting for Darby Allin, and Darby Allin's entire career is just and it's also going to get weirder and weirder because those shorts cannot be worn by someone who's north of 35. I got news for you.
No, it'll be a match they have. It'll be a straight wrestling match. The winner gets to jump on a bed of nails from on top of a cage, and the loser's like, I wanted to be impaled by nails and die.
Do you ever think about how nuts it is that no one used all the footage of Kane putting car batteries onto Shane's balls against him when he was running for the mayor of Knoxville? Like, literally, Kane's Twitter account is like, we got to do something about all these trans people taking our kids. And it's like, bro, there is footage of you, there's a blooper reel of you accidentally actually putting car batteries on a man's testicles. And then, you were involved in a thing where a man implied that you fucked a dead body. You don't get to have the moral high ground. But yeah, no, back to Shane McMahon in AEW. I think they're going for it because for no other reason, Shane McMahon will take money and Tony Khan's got money, baby.
Well, I also didn't think about this, the fact that Shane sold all his WWE stock in 2009 when it was $20 and now it's like 100 and something.
You're looking at a stock.
He sold at a fifth of the value, which not that he's suffering at all, but
it's also that thing of we don't know what he also has in a family trust. It's also that thing of he is also the favorite of the one McMahon proprietor that is still involved in the company. We don't know what Linda's stock holdings are. And you also have to remember Vince also fucking sold out. So it's also a very interesting situation in that regard.
Well, anyway, I just hope that it's Shane McMahon versus Darby Allin, and the special guest referee is
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair?
But here's the question. I don't know if Shane McMahon actually does debut in AEW. I mean, I think he does. I think he does at this point. That photo seemed pretty...
And then the crazy thing is it'll be like...
I don't think it's going to help, by the way, because the fans of AEW...
It could be cool. It's a weird one because I always thought the way for AEW to make a real splash, like WCW style, would be to take one of the Golden Three, whether that be Randy Orton, Batista, or Cena. Batista obviously solidly in Hollywood and loves Triple H. Randy Orton was the one I thought they could but I mean he's like, yeah, I'll do this, whatever, I'm married, I don't care. Randy Orton really pivoted from I shit in a box to I have kids, this is great guy. And
Randy Orton went one of two ways of suburban upper middle class white dude, which is either lean into the behavior, actually what I did was good, or learn from it and be sitting in a very comfortable chair in your backyard wearing a polo shirt, giving very odd advice to your daughters. Whatever you do, don't leave your bag anywhere.
He's
near
also
me.
a horny guy. This is the one that ages best. Horny guy who finds a wife and just by sheer amount of kids, he's like if I really want to fuck everybody guy is weird in your 20s. Not weird, but like that's a type of guy. And then once they're in their 40s, like I still want to fuck only my wife. That's endearing. Everyone will be on board with.
It's very
fuck
cute.
My wife.
Yeah, I want to fuck my wife only, and it's kind of sweet. And you're like, yeah, man, yeah, it actually works in that Izod shirt. Randy Orton is also the craziest turnaround because Randy Orton has like become like this elder statesman because Cody Rhodes was in the legacy. But like you listen to Cody Rhodes' stories of hanging out with Randy Orton, it's like he was covered in cocaine, called a horse the N-word, and then I had to
He said the N-word on a Twitch stream, didn't matter. It was done in a day. Everyone was like, yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
By the way, and we're not saying that was done in 2018. That was done in like 2022, and he was holding a sign that said "totally serious." Like it was the day of the George Floyd riots, and that's how Randy Orton referred to the protesters.
Yeah, he said the N-word while like he said the N-word in that shitty way a 12-year-old would, and then it was fine.
Did he really lean into the A? I was back home and I got to listen to one of that debate. Oh, I still say it, but I put the A in, and I had to be like, that if in many ways makes it worse because it shows that you are attempting to get away with it still. And then, you know, when you're like, I don't know why I've decided to have a debate with this, but here we go.
Yeah, man, there's nothing crazier than a person who like has gone through an existential crisis having a why can't I say it debate where it's like, what the fuck? Aren't you worried about what's on the other side of death? But you're like, no, man, I still on my last times on Earth, here's some of my regrets. First thing, I probably could have been better to my first wife. Second thing, I should have said it more. I should have yelled it at karaoke. When they blur it out during karaoke, I should have made the guy pause it so I could say it with no music so everyone could really ingest what I had done and then resume the song.
It's very funny what you say about a near-death experience, but it is truly how I live my life at this point now, which is I had a bus 1 foot away from me. I'm not doing this anymore. There was a real
it. That was the other thing. They were like, he was saying it.
Then I made the bus driver say it. Hey, I lived. Say it.
Say it.
Yeah.
Say it.
It's not just my last word. It's the last word I want to hear. It's the last word I want to hear. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it.
That is. There's got to be part that where like people's last words where you assume people gain perspective, but they just don't.
I'm gonna try and get my last
Sheryl
words.
Crow's fucking got a loose pussy. Why'd you know it's your last words? Yeah, I always thought it. I never told anyone.
Pull my finger. Pull my fucking finger. Pull my fucking finger. It's gonna be my soul. It's gonna be my soul. It's gonna be my soul.
Check me off. Just fucking make me nut.
Come on. I want to show when I die. I want to show my family how I got.
Not if. How many people do you think's last word has been nice tits?
Upwards of 19, but not 25.
Just
Okay, wait. Clarify. Last words specifically nice tits, or last words nice tits there was going to be more of a sentence? Because then it's way more than that. Because nice tits part of a sentence, that is a lot of cocaine overdoses because they're in a strip club in Vegas. Look at those nice tits. You know what I mean?
I think that we assume everyone dies like that because it's movies. Is that you have like a part of a sentence you want to say. Nice tits, God.
I mean, it really depends on how they're dying. You know what I mean? Like I've been lucky enough to lose people in a variety of different ways, and it depends on what the injury is that really gives itself to last words. Some people just have a fucking oxygen tube down their fucking throats. Then
you take it out, you gotta say nice tits.
I've prepared for that situation, and that I've pre-prepared my last words if I'm not able to say it. And what it is me just airing some grievances from people that I just felt have not properly acknowledged what they did and what was wrong.
Mine's going to be a list of people that cannot mourn me.
I'm like,
if I see the following people mourning me, no, like you have to. I'm going to put a Facebook comment from my lawyer, and my lawyer will be like, you were never close to him. You guys talked. You both know it was weird. You're not allowed.
we had one of the most honest and dark discussions when a very, 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 very good friend of mine died a few years ago. Dylan, to bring levity to the situation, I don't know if you called me or wrote this to me, but we went, did you enjoy the photos of your friend that people put up where you could see he actively dislikes him in his eyes? And I said, I did enjoy that. And I also enjoyed people showing up at his funeral that he specifically said, they won't show up. They know I hate them. And I said, you don't understand how narcissism works. They do not think you hate them.
It's not about you. It's about a party that they are invited to. They're making it like a social thing.
There was a party that people can't stop them from attending. Oh, yeah. People networked at his funeral, which is still the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. Someone saw, I was at that wake. There were people stood in a crowd 3 deep, scream crying outside. Someone walked up from the London Tube, saw that and went, these people want to hear about my career. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we just talked about wrestling, but we'll leave on this. The thing that someone was saying is like the amount of people trying to get a job at Eddie Guerrero's funeral, where it's like, yeah, it's really sad he's gone, but you do have an opening for a Latino, like, you know.
No.
Yeah, those are, yeah, not the Benoit one. The Benoit one was like,
I assume there were people. There was a slot accepting
was actively hiring at that one. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to replace my favorite person ever after he's done my favorite thing.
You're not on steroids. Do you want to be a wrestler?
I'm the bus driver.
Yeah, I don't know what people that are on steroids look like, so just get in there.
All I need to know is, are you willing to kill your family? That's the main thing.
Yeah, I just need to know. A bus driver, that's a good gimmick. Okay, we're back in the 90s, baby. Vince doesn't miss.
2 things. I did give my fiance a list of people's names where I went, listen, if they show up at the funeral, I would like... I'm like, you don't have to do this, but there'll be people there that will do this. Just let them know I never liked them and they shouldn't be there. And I am I am saying I would like that to happen because it just would be very satisfying for me. You know what I mean? Because
that's what you want to do. You want to win on the way out. If there's people here, there was like if there's people in the guest book, it would be good to get them. And then before the funeral starts, I have a list of people that have to leave.
Oh, that's how you do it. The guest book, Dylan. I want
to leave
Dylan.
And why they have to leave.
I am way chirpier than Dylan. I'm definitely dying first. I want you in charge of that because here's why Dylan would be really good for that. The dead eyes after he says it. Because people think, oh, it's a fun joke. And then he's looking up from that paper. Oh, no, I'm serious.
I have I have an insult boner that cannot be stopped. My penis has never been this long. Anyway, I have to go now.
Dylan has to leave. Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Next week, we're going to be talking about more random stuff. If you guys want, if you're on our Patreon, leave a comment on this episode, and we will talk about that subject next week. Thanks so much for Viva D's Nuts for suggesting a topic. Goodbye.
I assume that's your real name, Viva D's Nuts. And may I just say, I love your family's work.
No, it's actually Yo Lotus Pussy. That's my name. Goodbye.
Whoa.